Historias Rockeras es una presentación de la gira de Warcry por Colombia este marzo de 2023. Warcry, los legendarios asturianos, recorrerán el territorio colombiano entre el 17 y el 26 de marzo con sus más grandes éxitos y su nuevo álbum Diamond, presentándose en las ciudades de Cali, Pasto, Medellín, Pereira y Bogotá. Encuentra tus boletos para Warcry en tu ciudad en www.entradasamarillas.com o en las taquillas de los escenarios el día del evento. Warcry de gira por Colombia, otro evento Magic Talent. Más información rockero.co.
Me regalaste tan fácil tu amistad. Desde ese mismo momento debí dudar.
Y ahora sí, un nuevo episodio de Historias Rockeras. Dear friends, this is Carlos Oñoro from Historias Rockeras, and this is another chapter of Rockspeak. If you're new here, this project, this idea wants to share something while I practice a little bit of my English and some improvisation mixed with writing. If you are learning English, you can find this content easier to consume as I am not a native. I made mistakes, of course, but I also can speak a little bit slower. I don't have accents that cut words and stuff like that, and I simply speak slowly. And if you are a metalhead, if you like heavy metal, rock and stuff, of course you can enjoy this too. But now, today, this is something different. You know, it's been some time since I don't do any Rockspeak, and I want to leave the music aside today. And I want to talk about something I consider really, 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 really interesting. The public access to AI through chat. I don't know if you know about it. It's the Chat GDP, is it called? You write some questions into a chat, and the AI dwelling through the cloud gives you answers. This is something like a magical thing, and I also I remember a distant tale, a very old short story by Isaac Asimov, The Last Question. Isaac Asimov, or Isaac Asimov, Isaac, I would say, it's Isaac Asimov. He is one of the main writers of science fiction ever, and he wrote The Last Question in 1956. In this tale, an omnipresent cloud-like computer, self-learning, self-adjusting computer, has been fed with questions and data and helps humanity progress through time. At one point in 2061, when finally humanity quits hydrocarbons as energy source and connects to the sun, Multivac, which is the computer, at the same time is everywhere on Earth. So two scientists are sitting, celebrating the moment of the energy change and joking as a question to Multivac. The question is, if the stars would die at one point, would life and humanity die too? I will tell you about this short story, one of the greatest, later, but I cannot believe how accurate Asimov was with these AI interactions, because yes, these people entered the question and the computer answered. And this thing was written 70 years ago. So 70 years later, we have that. So I prepared to ask AI my questions, and I decided to begin with something all men should worry about at one point in life. My question was, what should I avoid in order to reduce the occurrence, I'm not sure, of prostate cancer? The answer AI gave me is this. There is no guaranteed way to prevent prostate cancer, but there are certain lifestyle choices that may reduce your risk of developing the disease. Here are some tips that may help you. Eat a healthy diet. A diet that is high in fruits, vegetables and whole grains, and low in red meat, saturated and trans fat, and sugar may help reduce the risk of prostate cancer. Maintain a healthy weight. Obesity is associated with an increased risk of prostate cancer, so maintaining a healthy weight through regular exercise and balanced diet may help reduce your risk. Get regular exercise. Regular physical activity may help reduce the risk of prostate cancer. Aim for at least 30 minutes of moderate exercise most days of the week. Quit smoking. Smoking has been linked to an increased risk of prostate cancer, so quitting smoking is important for reducing your risk. Limit alcohol consumption. Drinking excessive amounts of alcohol has been linked to an increased risk of prostate cancer, so limiting alcohol consumption may be beneficial. Consider a prostate cancer screening. Men should talk with their healthcare provider about the benefits and risks of prostate cancer screening and make an informed decision based on their personal health history and risk factors. It's important to remember that while these tips may reduce your risk of developing prostate cancer, they do not guarantee prevention. Regular checkups and screening are important for early detection and treatment of prostate cancer. At one point, well, this is what the AI answered. It's a very well written text. Everything makes sense, and I would say we we have heard that. At one point in the past, in the middle of a tour, one of the musicians mentioned he had a swollen prostate, and his doctor asked him to masturbate as part of the treatment he prescribed. So my next question to see what the AI was into it, I wanted to be more specific. So I came with this question. Does sexual activity increase or decrease prostate cancer occurrence? Is there any statistical result concluding such thing? The answer of the AI was the relationship between sexual activity and prostate cancer risk is not entirely clear. Some studies have suggested that high levels of sexual activity, including frequent ejaculation, may be associated with a lower risk of prostate cancer. Other studies have not found a significant association between sexual activity and prostate cancer risk. One study published in the Journal of American Medical Association in 2016 found that men who reported more frequent ejaculation during their lifetime had a lower risk of prostate cancer. Specifically, men who ejaculated at least 21 times per month had 20% lower risk of prostate cancer compared to men who ejaculated 4 to 7 times per month. However, it is important to note that this is just one study, and more research is needed to confirm the relationship between sexual activity and prostate cancer risk. Additionally, it is important to remember that many factors contribute to the development of prostate cancer, and sexual activity is just one potential factor among many. It is important for men to discuss their personal risk factors for prostate cancer with their healthcare provider and to receive regular screening as recommended by their provider. It is said from the first that AI might produce some strange answers, and this is strange not because of the content of the information. We can choose to believe what the AI says, but in the third paragraph, I would say it contradicts itself. It says, it is important to remember that many factors contribute to the development of prostate cancer, and sexual activity is just one potential factor among many. So I don't know if I'm understanding otherwise, but here is telling exactly the contrary of what the study and what is being suggested after the question here. So it is very strange. So I left the topic alone, and after several other questions, I noticed AI uses some kind of emotional intelligence, to put it some way, or at least AI adapts to the meaning of my questions to try to have some self-assurance awareness. I don't know. Maybe it's trying to guess and answer of what we want to hear. So I asked, can celibacy lower prostate cancer occurrence? And the answer was, there is some evidence to suggest that celibacy or a low frequency of sexual activities may be associated with a reduced risk of prostate cancer. Several studies have found that men who report fewer lifetime sexual partners, less frequent ejaculation, or longer periods of sexual abstinence may have a lower risk of developing prostate cancer. One possible explanation for this association is that frequent ejaculation may reduce the concentration of cancer-causing agents or toxins in the prostatic fluid. Here, let me interrupt the answer here, because here it totally contradicts. It says at the first that, according to my question, yes, there is some factors, some clues, or some studies and stuff, but here the AI says something totally contrary. It says one possible explanation for this association of less sexual activity is that frequent ejaculation may reduce the concentration of cancer-causing agents or toxins in the prostatic fluid. This is totally, it is constructed, it is a paragraph, but this is contrary to the sense of the answer this AI is providing. So another theory is that sexual activity may increase the production of androgens, such as testosterone, which can stimulate the growth of prostate cancer cells. This paragraph totally contradicts the first one. It's very strange. However, more research is needed to fully understand the relationship between celibacy, sexual activity, and prostate cancer. It is important to know that celibacy or abstinence is not recommended strategy for reducing prostate cancer risk. Other proven risk reduction strategies include maintaining a healthy weight, engaging in regular physical activity, consuming a diet rich in fruits and vegetables, limiting intake of red and processed meat, and getting regular prostate cancer screening tests. So, AI can give you conflicting facts taken from its sources. Possibly cannot conclude through data analysis, or at least this option is not available. The other day, Elon Musk said something about OpenAI that was interesting to me. He said Bill Gates' Microsoft had control that initially thought open source nonprofit into a full profit controlled company. As I know, Bill Gates is pushing hydrogen fuel and posting the supposed drawbacks or limitation of solar energy. I thought this particular AI, which is OpenAI, would be biased in a way. This was, of course, just a funny guess. So I began to question the AI about hydrogen fuel. I asked, does hydrogen fuel destroy water molecule? Does that push water scarcity and price? Hydrogen. This is the answer from the AI. Hydrogen fuel does not destroy water molecules. In fact, hydrogen fuel is produced by splitting water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen through a process called electrolysis. This means that hydrogen fuel is actually a byproduct of the water splitting process and does not contribute to water scarcity or affect the price of water. So here it is clear that the AI wants us to know that there's no effect on the price, there's no scarcity, and it says it's not destroying the molecule, it is molecule splitting. But what is the difference between destroying the molecule or splitting it? There might be something there if you can easily put the water together. So you split with electrolysis the molecule, and you have separated hydrogen and oxygen. If you can easily put them together, then there's no destructions, right? But let's continue. This is the continued answer. It says here, this is my comment. If you see here, the robot doesn't consider water molecule splitting as water molecule destruction. However, Producing hydrogen fuel, this is the AI. However, producing a hydrogen fuel through electrolysis can require significant amounts of energy, which can be a limiting factor in terms of cost and environmental impact. Additionally, the availability of clean and renewable sources of energy to power the electrolysis process is an important consideration in terms of sustainability of hydrogen fuel. Overall, while the production of hydrogen fuel has the potential to play a role in reducing dependence on fossil fuel and mitigating climate changes, it is important to carefully consider the energy and environmental impact of the hydrogen production process, as well as the broader economical and social implications of the transition to hydrogen fuel. Another way to ask, I was trying to circle the AI just as I did with the prostate thing. And there is another way. I used another way to ask about the water molecule destruction topic with the following question. And I ask, once you split the water molecule, can you reverse the process easily? And this is the answer of AI. Yes. The process of splitting water molecules through electrolysis is reversible, and the hydrogen and oxygen gases that are produced can be recombined to form water. This process is called recombining or reforming and can be done using a device called a fuel cell. In a fuel cell, hydrogen and oxygen are recombined to produce electricity. What the hell? Water and heat. The chemical reaction that occurs is the reverse of the electrolysis process, with hydrogen and oxygen gases combining to form water and releasing energy in the process. The ability to reverse the process of splitting water molecules is an important aspect of the potential use of hydrogen fuel as a renewable energy source. This is totally unrelated nonsense, at least to my mind. However, it says, the overall efficiency and sustainability of the process depend on the variety of factors, including the energy source used to power the electrolysis process. Once again, electrolysis process, but we're talking about the reverse. Anyway, the efficiency of the fuel cell and the availability of clean and renewable sources of energy. Then I went deeper. I asked other stuff where the machine showed non-conclusive data, like, can you calculate the process of electrolysis? Or what is the price proportion between splitting a water molecule and combining hydrogen and oxygen to produce a water molecule? Really not at all satisfactory and very strange. Anyway, I then asked something I consider it was a better question. What is your guess? What is more expensive? Splitting the water molecule or putting it together? So this is the answer. Based on current technologies and energy sources, splitting a water molecule through electrolysis is generally considered to be more expensive than combining hydrogen and oxygen to produce water through a fuel cell. The cost of splitting water through electrolysis depends on the cost of electricity used to power the process, which can vary depending on the source of electricity, such as a renewable or fossil fuel sources. Additionally, the efficiency of the electrolysis process can also affect the overall cost of producing hydrogen. In contrast, it continues, the cost of producing electricity through a fuel cell depends on the cost of the fuel cell system and the cost of the hydrogen fuel. The cost of the hydrogen fuel can also vary depending on the source and production methods used. However, the cost of both splitting a water molecule and combining hydrogen and oxygen to produce water is expected to decrease as technology advances. This is completely Yeah, bullshit. I mean, this is, of course, with time, technology gets cheaper, but okay. So it continues, and the use of renewable energy sources become more widespread. Additionally, the overall cost of hydrogen fuel is expected to become more competitive with traditional fossil fuels in the future as the cost of renewable energy sources continues to decrease. Then, if water is so easy to produce, I asked, where does the water on the earth come from? The answer was, the water on earth likely originated from a variety of sources, including comets, asteroids, and the solar nebula that formed the solar system. During the early formation of the solar system, water-bearing comets and asteroids likely impacted the Earth, delivering significant amounts of water to the planet's surface. Additionally, water molecules were likely present in the solar nebula from which the solar system formed. So this is suggesting that water formed before Earth was completed. So how come we can produce water, but the water in on the planet Earth is so old? Well, the answer continues. Over time, water on Earth has been cycled through the atmosphere, oceans, and the planet's surface through a process known as hydrologic cycle. This cycle involves the evaporation of water from the surface of the Earth, the formation of clouds, precipitation, and the flow of water through rivers, lakes, and groundwater. Today, water covers over 70% of Earth's surface, and it plays a critical role in supporting life on the planet. However, despite its abundance, access to clean and safe drinking water remains a significant challenge for many people around the world. So, my next question to this one, now hearing that water is so old, my question was, does water gets produced daily by nature? So the answer from the AI is this: water is not produced daily by nature in large amounts. As the total amount of water on Earth is relatively stable and has been present on the planet for millions of years, the water on Earth is constantly being cycled through the atmosphere, oceans, and the planet's surface through the hydrologic cycle that we just talked about, as water evaporates from bodies of water in the ground, forms clouds, and then returns to the Earth's surface as precipitation. However, it is worth noting that a small amount of water can be produced through natural processes such as photosynthesis and respiration in plants. Yeah, right. As well as in certainly geological processes such as serpentination, where water is produced through the chemical reaction of minerals in the Earth's crust. Nonetheless, these processes do not produce significant amount of water compared to the amount of water that is already present on Earth. So what can we conclude here? The water is not produced. So, when did the water on Earth was formed? Well, this is a repetition, but I wanted to get this answer. The water on Earth was formed during the early stages of the planet's formation, approximately 4.6 billion years ago. At that time, the Earth was hot and molten ball of rock, and it is believed that water vapor and other volatile compounds were released from the molten rock through volcanic activity. As the Earth cooled, the water vapor is in the atmosphere condensed and formed the early oceans. The exact timing and process of water formation on Earth are still topic of science research and debate, but it is widely accepted that the majority of the Earth water was present on the Earth by about 3.8 billion years ago. Over the course of Earth's history, the water on the planet has undergone, once again, cycles of evaporation, precipitation, and runoff, and have played a critical role in the development of life on the overall habitability of our planet. So, yeah, this AI tells us that we can. The first thing is, can I destroy? I'm sorry. The first thing is it electrolysis, destruction of the water molecule? And the AI says yes. No, I'm sorry. The AI says no, it is not. Can we put together hydrogen and oxygen to form water? This is something the AI very easily says yes, and it explains about the energy cell, the cell fuel or stuff like that. But that is not true. Producing water is almost impossible, and this thing of the AI saying splitting the molecule of water is not destroying it, and having supposedly a reverse process. This is all bullshit, and the AI gives you that information just like this. Yes, but if you ask, where is this water coming? It tells you that every single drop of water was here 3.8 billion years ago. So this is, I mean, it writes great, but this is full of yeah, this is not factical. It looks like it, but I don't think this is something that we could trust. At least this is my position, right? I ask him, hey, what about sexual activity? A lot of sexual, yeah. How about lower? How about not having sex? Oh yeah. Something like that, right? And yes, it could be biased also, fed with some answers about several topics, like in this thing of the water, right? Anyway, enough for now. I hope you have enjoyed this just as I did. I had more questions, but yeah, it's been 26 minutes now, so I'll leave you here. I hope you like this chapter and try the OpenAI chat, which is ChatGPT 2 or something like that. Very nice, because it also gives you some other information. If you ask some things that are not that important like this, or are part of this world government agenda and stuff like that, of course you will get the information you need. So, okay, my name is Carlos Oñoro. Thank you for listening here with me, for sharing. And until the next Rockspeak chapter. Bye.
Historias Rockeras es una presentación de la gira de Warcry por Colombia este marzo de 2023. Warcry, los legendarios asturianos, recorrerán el territorio colombiano entre el 17 y el 26 de marzo con sus más grandes éxitos y su nuevo álbum Diamond, presentándose en las ciudades de Cali, Pasto, Medellín, Pereira y Bogotá. Encuentra tus boletos para Warcry en tu ciudad en www.entradasamarillas.com o en las taquillas de los escenarios el día del evento. Warcry de gira por Colombia, otro evento Magic Talent. Más información rockero.co.
Me regalaste tan fácil tu amistad. Desde ese mismo momento debí dudar.
Y ahora sí, un nuevo episodio de Historias Rockeras.